Sometimes in life, we meet people who feel like they are meant to stay forever. They become part of our daily routine, part of our memories, and part of our hearts. We trust them, love them, and believe they will always be there. But then one day, things begin to change. The conversations become less frequent. The connection becomes weaker, and slowly they start to drift away. At first, you may not understand it. You keep asking yourself, why is this happening? What did I do wrong? Why are they leaving? And those questions can break your heart, because when someone important walks away, it feels like a piece of you leaves with them. The pain can feel unbearable, and in those moments, it's easy to think that their leaving means you were not enough. But the truth is, not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay forever. Some people are only meant to be in your life for a season. Their purpose is not always to stay. Sometimes their purpose is simply to teach you something. Maybe they came to teach you strength. Maybe they came to teach you patience. Or maybe they came to teach you the painful lesson of letting go. And while those lessons hurt, they are often necessary for your growth. The hardest part is understanding that just because you love someone does not always mean they are right for your future. Love can make us hold on tightly, even when something is no longer healthy for us. Sometimes we ignore the signs. We ignore the pain, the stress, and emotional weight they bring into our lives because we are afraid of losing them. But God sees what we cannot see. He sees the future. He sees the hidden intentions, and He sees the impact someone may have on our lives long before we do. That is why sometimes God removes people from our lives, not because He wants to hurt us, but because He wants to protect us. The painful truth is that protection does not always feel good. Sometimes it feels like heartbreak. Sometimes it feels like loss. But just because it hurts does not mean it is wrong. In fact, some of the most painful endings are the very things that save us from greater pain later. Think about how many times you look back at someone you once cried over and later realize losing them was the best thing that could have happened. At the time, it felt like your world was falling apart. You prayed for them to stay. You begged for things to go back to the way they were. And you could not imagine moving forward without them. But as time passed, you began to see clearly. You started to understand that their presence was no longer bringing peace into your life. Instead, it was bringing confusion, pain, and distraction. And that's when you realize something powerful. Not every closed door is a loss. Sometimes it is God's way of leading you to something better. People often think that if someone leaves, it means they failed or they were not worthy. But that is not always true. Sometimes people leave because their assignment in your life is complete. They serve their purpose, and now it's time for the next chapter. Life is full of seasons, and every season brings different people. Not everyone can go where God is taking you. Some people belong in your past, but they cannot walk into your future. And that is okay. Growth requires change, and change often requires separation. As you grow, heal, and become stronger, your circle naturally changes. The people who are comfortable with the old version of you may not be comfortable with the new version of you. When you start setting boundaries, protecting your peace, and choosing what is healthy for your soul, some people will naturally drift away. That does not mean you are wrong. It simply means you are evolving. The truth is, God knows what belongs in your life and what does not. He knows who will help you grow and who will hold you back. He knows who brings peace and who brings chaos. And because He loves you, He will sometimes remove the wrong people to make room for the right ones. It may feel lonely at first. It may feel empty. But empty does not mean abandoned. Sometimes empty means preparation. God clears space in your life so He can fill it with something better. Better relationships, better opportunities, better peace, and better purpose. But if your life stays full of the wrong people, there will be no room for the right ones. So if someone has left your life, do not rush to chase them. Do not force what God may be ending. Trust that if they left, there is a reason. Trust that God is still working, even in your pain. One day, the confusion will become clarity. One day, the heartbreak will become wisdom. And one day, you will look back and thank God for removing the people you once begged Him to keep. Because you will finally understand that their leaving was not meant to break you. It was meant to build you. Sometimes the greatest blessings in life begin with the most painful goodbyes, and sometimes the first step toward your future is letting go of what no longer belongs in it.